The streets of Manhattan were bathed in a cold, metallic glow from the towering skyscrapers. The honking of taxis, the chatter of street vendors, and the rhythmic footsteps of hurried businessmen created an urban symphony that never ceased. Among the moving figures, a man, in a weathered brown coat, stood still near the entrance of a high-end restaurant. His name was Samuel Green, a former Marine and once a proud small business owner. Now, he was just another face in the crowd, forgotten, overlooked. Inside the restaurant, Donald Trump sat at his usual table by the window, the dim golden lights reflecting off the polished mahogany furniture. A plate of steak, medium rare, sat untouched before him. His mind was elsewhere, drifting between political strategies and business expansions. He took a slow sip of his Diet Coke when he noticed the man outside. Something about Samuel's posture caught Trump's attention. It wasn't just the way he stood, it was the way he held himself, the quiet dignity in his gaze, despite his disheveled appearance. Trump set his glass down, motioning for one of his aides. "Find out who that guy is." Minutes later, the aide returned. "His name's Samuel Green, former Marine. Lost his business 2 years ago after an unfair legal battle. Now he's struggling to make ends meet." Trump leaned back, tapping his fingers on the table. He was used to people begging for handouts, but something about this situation felt different. He knew what it was like to fight against an unjust system. He had battled the media, the establishment, and political adversaries for decades. This man wasn't looking for pity. He was fighting to keep his last shred of dignity. Trump stood up, adjusting his suit jacket. He walked out of the restaurant, his polished shoes clicking against the wet pavement. The restaurant patrons watched in confusion. What was he doing? "Hey, you!" Trump called out. Samuel, startled, turned around. His sharp blue eyes met Trump's. "You a Marine?" Trump asked. Samuel straightened. "Yes, sir." Trump nodded. "I respect that." He glanced at the restaurant behind him, then back at Samuel. "You got a second?" Samuel hesitated, but eventually nodded. Trump motioned for him to follow. They walked a short distance to a quieter street. The air was crisp, carrying the faint scent of roasted peanuts from a vendor nearby. Trump leaned against a streetlight, arms crossed. "I hear you got screwed over," Trump said bluntly. Samuel exhaled sharply. "Yeah, lost my shop. They hit me with false charges. Couldn't afford the legal fees, and the bank took everything." Trump shook his head. "That's the problem with this country. Hardworking people like you get crushed while the real crooks get away with it." He pulled out his phone, scrolling through contacts. Who was the judge? Samuel blinked. "Why?" Trump smirked. "Because I'm making a call." "Wait a second. You need to subscribe right now. If you don't, you're letting corruption win. You're allowing the system to crush people like Samuel while the guilty walk free. Don't be part of the problem. Hit that button now." Within minutes, Trump was on the phone with a legal team. He gave instructions in his signature no-nonsense tone, ensuring that Samuel's case was reopened and investigated for judicial misconduct. Samuel stared, dumbfounded. "You're actually helping?" Trump slipped his phone back into his pocket. "Damn right, I am. You served this country. It's about time someone returned the favor." For the first time in years, Samuel felt something he thought he had lost: hope. Weeks later, Samuel's case made headlines. The judge who had wrongfully ruled against him was exposed for corruption. Samuel not only got justice, but also regained the funds needed to restart his business. A reporter approached Trump for a comment. "Mr. Trump, why did you help him?" Trump adjusted his cufflinks. "Because it was the right thing to do. And let's be honest, justice isn't served on a silver platter. You have to take it." Samuel, standing nearby, watched in silent gratitude. He had once been a forgotten man, another casualty of a broken system. But tonight, he wasn't invisible. And all it took was one unexpected act of justice.